future, and its name is MARKO.
Welcome back, everybody, to the 101st show of Hoot Loot, a Hoot Entertainment production. This is the place to come to be informed, be amused, but never be misled. We have cable news for that, after all, the leading cause of mental illness. And right now, this show is April 9th, 2022, New World Odor. And that's the name of the show today. Something smells. And if you would like and subscribe, please do right down here. And we'll be back in a minute with the charts. All right, we're back and ready to show you probably one of the most ugly charts I've ever seen. And this one we showed last week, a little bit different. But basically what this chart shows is that there's little room to raise interest rates right now without completely cratering the economy. And it is believed now by a few people, I'm tending to join that camp, that if interest rates go up, say 100 basis points, that's it. That's going to crater the economy, and then the Fed will have to start loosening again. I don't know where this whole cycle ends, but right now, they can't raise rates. They cannot not raise rates. And this is proof that basically they boxed themselves into a corner. They painted themselves. I don't know what they're going to do, but as last show said, the Fed is dead, long live the Fed, and we're going to have a new boss in town anytime now. All right, we're back here with Wells Fargo, and I talked about some issues that we're having with Wells Fargo and Dave's Inc., and I have a little update on that. Wells Fargo don't have an update on that, but just thought I'd mention it, that this is an ongoing process of a big bank fraud. Now, Dave's Inc. is another situation that needs some investigating, and looky here, it's backed by Mark Cuban. Dave's Inc. So we're going to talk to Dave's Inc. this week, and we'll tell you next week exactly what happened. They're located in Los Angeles. They apparently, part of them was acquired. They were halted in trading. That's why you see all the wild gyrations here. But they're on the hook. Okay, they're on the hook. Someone at Dave's Inc., or with their permission, stole a bunch of money from my my checking account. And Wells Fargo may not want to be stand-up people. Maybe Dave's Inc. will be. I just don't know. I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. Call them, tell them what happened, and maybe they'll be stand-up people. Who knows? So with that, let's go on to the regular charts, and we'll start out with the canaries in the coal mine. We haven't added one this week, but Bitcoin, again, this one it's in a bear flag, and there's really nothing to get excited about here. There really is nothing to get excited about here. So, it's starting to lose its luster. All right, Tesla, also another canary in the coal mine, and Elon Musk never ceases to be controversial. Okay, now he's bought Twitter, 9% of Twitter, because he doesn't think it's a free speech platform anymore. Well, isn't that interesting? Because Mr. Musk has the 20 rules that you have to follow if you're one of his employees, including no free speech. I mean, he doesn't practice it. It's certainly in his plan. You can't criticize him. You can't report, any kind of factory accident. You can't do anything. That's why he has such high turnover, because no one seems to like working for him, and he is really difficult and all that. So, it's kind of funny that he would be a proponent of free speech when he doesn't practice it himself when it offends him. So, anyway, Tesla, earnings coming out on what day? 4/20. That figures. Okay. And ARC Innovation had a little bounce. Nothing to get excited about. This one is just the air's coming out of the balloon. And that's it. Kathy Wood is telling us that this is a long-term investment. Well, it has to be now. I mean, it can't be short-term, I guess, unless you trade it. But this is 100 of the hippest, coolest, trendiest stocks there's ever been. And now it's not so trendy anymore, but if you lost your money. And now we're going to add one. Goldman Sachs. The financial sector looks like it's turning around, and it's adding some leadership to the downside. Goldman is about as indicative of a company as there is, because it's so connected. It makes money no matter what, and it's huge in terms of assets and all the stuff they do with IPOs and everything else. So now it is broken down below its rounded top, and that's an ominous formation. So, right now the canaries don't look too good. And I think that we're going to show you some signs that the bear market is about to resume in earnest. Dow Jones Industrials, now they've broken down too. You notice 3 successive highs, with the 2 following to be lower. It looks like the Dow Jones Industrials are probably going to start breaking down in earnest. Right now they've just been making, swinging violently, but making lower highs, lower lows. All right, the NASDAQ 100. This one actually made sort of a short-term double top, and it doesn't look like it's going to rally unless it breaks that 15,200 level. Otherwise, it's heading down probably to break the 13,000 level on the downside. So we'll keep an eye on that, but we'll also show you some of the big cap stocks, and they're all rolling over too. S&P 500 looks like the NASDAQ 100. We're still going to say ding ding because the market does not. This was a bear market rally. There's absolutely no indication that there was anything but a sharp short covering rally, and especially in some of these big cap stocks. The S&P small cap index, again, a bear flag following a bigger bear flag, and now it looks like it's breaking down from the second bear flag. That is a very ominous formation here. So you want small caps to participate. They're not, and that's not too good. All right, the Dow Jones Transportation, this is ominous as hell right here. I mean, this head and shoulders top, this is a 5-year chart, and that's a big head and shoulders top, and they got slammed this week. All the various sectors of the transportation index, we'll go through some of those, and the bottlenecks and everything that's keeping prices high and supplies low. Professional politicians at work doing a great job. We're going to vote them out, aren't we? Yeah, okay. All right, so let's go on to inflation, which is also a product of professional politicians. The CRB Commodities Index is, in a triangle, and that looks like it's about to break out too. The Agriculture Fund, this thing is going to go up. Food shortages are being talked about. Fertilizer shortages are making the yields per acre go down all over the world. And guess what? Belarus, Ukraine, and Russia are responsible for much of the fertilizer and the components of fertilizer. So there you go. Tiny countries disrupting everything. Corn, omnipresent everywhere. And this one, again, looks like it's about to emerge on a second leg. Wheat, too. Ukraine is called the breadbasket of Europe. And, everything looks good that this thing is also going to break out. And it does look like there are going to be shortages. So, plus, the more they're talked about, Biden is even talking about food shortages, people react by panicking and hoarding, and that creates more shortages. And then later, when there's no shortage, then they don't buy food, and then there's a drop in economic activity. So go figure, you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. All right, the livestock index, and, New World Odor should be kind of like, emphasized here, because for a while, we were told that climate change was exacerbated by cow farts, i.e. methane, like that. I mean, where do they come up with that stuff? That's part of the New World Order. It just smells. It just frickin' smells. And the New World Order, whatever the hell they are, is a bunch of totalitarian, dictator-type, very rich families and connected people. It's not one person, but it's a globalist, tyrannical type of formation or government structure, including entities that are very secretive, unknown, the Bilderbergs, the Illuminati, all of it. I could go on and on and on. Oh yeah, the Freemasons. Okay, so crude oil looks like it is consolidated. It's now bouncing a little bit. Let's see what happens to it. Russia's production has gone down because of the sanctions, even though there are a bunch of tankers on the seas. Once those tankers unload their cargo, Russia production and demand, the sanctions are taking a little bit out of them. Natural gas, this is interesting because natural gas in Europe is really flying high. And there's a stranglehold that the Russians have on Europe, through the pipeline system, which has been shut down. And here in the United States, it's a much different market, although it is also having supply bottlenecks. The pipelines are closed. Okay, that was one thing. There was some sabotage, some cyber sabotage at one of them earlier this year. Now, all of a sudden, transportation natural gas is a problem. And to get it, to actually export it, you have to freeze it. You have to put on a tanker. It costs a lot of money to do that. But we're going to do that supposedly to help Europe. And here, there's going to be shortages here too. And not to mention the fact that Exxon is going to use excess natural gas to mine Bitcoin. Go figure. I don't get it. Okay, gasoline is still the bane of everybody. Gasoline prices. Well, thank you, professional politicians, for that, because what they've done in their just amazingly uncanny brilliance is to put additional stimulus out there, which will drive the prices even higher and cripple people even more, okay, and tax it. So, for them to claim that they're giving you money to help you out here is ridiculous. It's like buying votes, which is what they do. They buy votes, which is why they have to be voted out, every damn one of them. Vote out all the incumbents, make America laugh again, join our movement. This is no bowel movement. We're anti-party. We're not partisan at all. And the only party we care about is one we're going to throw when we throw the bums out and vote out all the incumbents. Are you with me? Let's go. All right, let's go on here. I get a little excited sometimes. All right, base metals also going up. These are, lead, nickel, et cetera, even iron. I mean, basically, just about everything is going up. So, copper, of course, is omnipresent everywhere. From electric cars to home building to you name it, and piping and all that kind of stuff. So, they're signaling that there's some strength or inflation because the dollar price of copper keeps going up. So, the demand is good. Lumber is kind of an exception to the rule. Now, lumber, we thought was in a bear flag, and it looks like it's going back down. It's had wild gyrations this year, but this is what is going on now. And the reason it's so important to understand stagflation is that, demand has to be driven down, which means you need a recession. Otherwise you won't get prices down. Otherwise it'll take forever to do it. And right now, that's the choice that the Federal Reserve has. They don't want a recession, but they're going to have one whether they like it or not. All right, silver is looking constructive. It's in a bull flag. This is daily. Again, precious metals are looking really good. We're going to show you some examples of some buy indications that we have in a minute. And silver over 20 years, still a cup and handle, very, very powerful, good formation. We expect much higher silver prices imminently, and I mean imminently, like any day now. Gold for 5 years, beautiful pattern. It went up, made a double top, came down, has not broken the trend line. But this one, gold to me looks like it's about to break out of this formation here, and that's a powerful one. It'll go the distance. And, further evidence of it can be seen here on the 20-year. And, the kind of appreciation we're likely to see could be on the order of 10 to 20 times. It could be. You just don't know, especially with this New World Odor reset that's coming up. I don't know what the hell reset is supposed to be, other than the fact that I guarantee you, whatever they reset will benefit them and will not benefit you and I. Guaranteed, okay? It'll benefit professional politicians. They will have been forewarned about it, how to hedge it, et cetera, because they just never use insider information to make money. Hey, Nancy Pelosi? Never. Okay. Oh, God. Okay, gold and silver miners. These are the junior miners right here. This is where the action is. They're very leveraged to the price of silver and gold, and I expect that these will have substantial appreciation too. Yamana Gold is one of them that I really like. We featured this before, and it's got, it's about to exceed its highs, and that's what I like about it. Good relative strength, good pattern, and a good company. Newmont is the biggest company there is in the precious metals mining sector, and it's already made new highs. It looks like really strong. So does the next company, which is called Barrick Gold. That one also, second largest, one's also flying away. All right, Kinross is one of the smaller ones. This was just broken out from from a bull flag. So this is a good entry point for something like Kinross. El Dorado, still looking good. We've talked about this before. Right here at $11, it's been at 105 before. 105 with lower gold prices. That's the kind of potential it has, and that's the thing you kind of have to look at here, because they've already been there, and this one probably will return. Core mining, this one also has been a lot higher, and it's kind of coiling down. So this one is almost ready to buy. If this exceeds about $485, it's ready to buy, and the long-term potential is here. It could go to 70, 75. I mean, I don't know. And it's also likely to be an acquisition target. Okay, so the Newmonts of the world are going to try to get bigger and consolidate, probably by buying some of these junior low-price companies. U.S. dollar, it is unbelievably strong, but it doesn't seem to be affecting anything. What it seems to be saying, it's almost up to 100, but what it seems to be saying is that our interest rates are higher than the rest of the world, so it attracts investors. I don't know why they want to invest in our government bonds, but that's part of the reason for it. So, and if you look at 20 years, it's been in a several-year consolidation, high-level flag. This thing could break out, and I really don't know. I mean, anything could happen here with this reset. Anything could happen. In the last time was called Bretton Woods. They took the dollar off the gold standard, and it just boom. Now I wonder if, because Russia has done it, whether the dollar's going to go back on the gold standard. I don't know. We'll have to see. But the future's not cryptocurrencies. That I can assure you. All right, the 5-year treasuries, these have just exploded, and the yield curve is now really flat. The 5-year, 10-year, and 30-year, all at about 2.7%, give or take a couple of basis points. And this is now broken out from a long downtrend line. Okay, long. And that's powerful. The shorter end is going up. The longer end is kind of flattening and coming down. So you have a flat yield curve, and they're just starting. Basically with inflation at 8% roughly. Last time it was at 8%. Okay, interest rates were at 12. 12. And somehow we survived. The problem is that the interest expense is going to be it's going to kill everybody. And so the poor Fed, what are they going to do? All right. Okay, 10 years. These are sort of the benchmark, and these are broken out too. These are looking pretty strong. I think these could go a long way, but unfortunately, the amount of interest paid is somewhat of a constraint because, if you go up to normal levels like 5 or 6, all of a sudden you're going to have interest service expense that's going to be bigger than Social Security, and you're going to have a budget deficit that's huge, okay, and never can be paid back. So better to take it on now, but they won't. The Fed, why they don't actually raise interest rates, even the members of the Fed are saying that the terminal rate or the long run rate will get to 3.5%. No, it won't. It'll be a lot higher than that if you can, because otherwise you're still stimulating the economy because rates are below inflation. And right now, you're not going to get inflation down unless you cause a recession or a crash or something. That's the only way. They really have to do that. So, we'll see, but I don't know. Okay, now these are the inflation-protected securities. These are the short-term ones. Now, even though inflation expectations have come down, and you can see that here in the chart, this is not good news. Okay, what this means, and the way I read it, is that inflation might come down, but these people that are buying this here are really forecasting a recession or a really weak economy, because otherwise inflation wouldn't go down, and there would be no reason to price these lower. Same with these. The Treasury inflation-protected securities, these have broken down from a long, rounded top. And the only reason that they would be doing that is not that inflation expectations are going down. I mean, they may be, but the economy is about to get cranked. And that would be the lesson from this particular chart here. All right, now we'll go on to cryptos, your favorite topic. Oh, God, I can't get enough cryptos. All right. We're going to bury them pretty soon. I've come to bury them, not to praise them. And we're going to bury them. We're going to have a crypto funeral coming up because this is about time to slam the casket shut. Okay, Bitcoin, 5 years weekly, massive bear flag. This has gone nowhere in about, 2 years. Okay, yeah, it's made some money, but, so many people have been scammed and defrauded and illegal transactions and everything. Is it really worth it? Is it really worth it? I don't know. Ethereum, 5 years weekly, same thing. Looks exactly like Bitcoin, massive bear flag. And interestingly enough, Ethereum, the more I learn about it, the more I don't really like it. I mean, it's really a token. It's Ethereum.org anyway. I mean, that's the company is a nonprofit. You can't own shares in it. You can own a token. Big deal. Get a bus token if you like tokens so damn much. I mean, that's a damn good token. Or get a ticket to a movie theater or Dodgers or something. That's the same kind of thing. You buy a ticket, you buy a token. Okay? And that's all they do. They do blockchain, another thing that has gone flat, even though everybody's saying its praises. We're going to show you about that in a minute. All right. Here's Bitcoin Cash. Boy, look at that. That's the future right there for you, people. I mean, this is an altcoin. It's spun off of Bitcoin, okay, run by a bunch of miners, I think. And look at that. It's just been crushed. This is the future, right? I'll take 3 Bitcoin Cashes, please. All right, Litecoin, another one. I mean, this is not the future. Okay, this is another one, not the future. This is an altcoin that doesn't do anything. All right, and here's now a fund called Bitwise. But, you know, they advertise all these people at a table. Oh, it's so cool. This is the future. The future is you're going to lose all your money investing in this. That's your future because this is a very dumb investment. And you're buying a bunch of things that nobody really understands anyway. Nobody really understands it. So it's like, I mean, you've already lost 67% of your money from inception of this thing. Okay, that's really good. Coinbase, another, you know, brokerage firm that's supposed to be the next, you know, the next thing. No, I don't think so. Robinhood, same thing. This one has lost like 85% in the last year. No, not going anywhere. No, not the future. No, no, and no. MicroStrategy, another company that decided to change their strategy to being a Bitcoin holding company. And this one's in another bear flag. And even though the guy that runs the firm is just in love with his Bitcoin, says he's never going to sell, he probably is. He probably is, because nobody's up in this thing. And I don't know, this one looks really bad. Everything associated with crypto looks really bad. That's the truth. So how people get so euphoric about it, I don't get it. All right, so we'll go on to the mega caps here. Apple, the largest technology company, starting to come down. This one actually had an amazing short covering rally, an amazing rally. And it looks like that has somewhat petered out. We'll see. This is probably the most bullish of all the charts I've seen. The rest of them look really bad. This one's looking, not that bad. Alphabet also looks like it's in a rounded top about to conclude. Earnings are coming up very shortly. That would make a very, very good catalyst to send this thing kaboom, like it did with Meta Platforms, formerly known as Facebook. All right. Amazon also looks like it has made lower highs and has made lower lows. I suspect this one will come down too. And again, it will have earnings coming up soon too, so that would be a catalyst. It's going to be kind of wild and woolly here with earnings coming up. So, you know, expect that companies that don't make it are going to blame it on inflation, blame it on Russia, Ukraine, blame it on anything but their own incompetence. You know, that's the way it is on Wall Street. Meta Platforms, here you go. I won't talk too much else about it, other than to say that Mark Zuckerberg, the best executive in the world, with the best run company in the world, is unveiling something called Zuck Bucks. Now, if you think about it, what rhymes with Zuck Bucks? Yeah, exactly. I expect to be hearing that. He obviously did not think that through. He also didn't think Meta Platforms through either, because, you know, this whole virtual reality thing sounds like people on LSD or something. All right, Microsoft, again, huge company, ominous rounded top. Earnings coming up. High likelihood it breaks down sometime in this thing. So we got lots of big cap stocks now breaking down and finishing their top formations. Netflix, this one is going nowhere, you know, half off sale, horror show. And Nvidia, the poster child for semiconductors. This one also, you know, has great earnings, great product, great company, but it's overvalued. And the airline index, you know, we're going to look at some of the transportation companies right now and kind of analyze that, because that signal was very, very ominous. The airline index is also breaking down. They've got problems with higher jet fuel prices, masks, colonoscopies, you know, stewardesses, Mile High Club, you name it. They're all got problems. And, you know, the airline industry is really in bad shape because their costs are fixed. And so they can't scale down really efficiently and easily. So they got a problem here. FedEx Corp, that one's breaking down too. It's broken down from around the top. That's very ominous because FedEx is not getting increased volumes. They're getting increased prices and margins, but not increased volumes. There isn't a lot of increased activity, except for a few places, which we'll show you. All right, J.B. Hunt is a trucker. And look at that. See, again, the supply constraints that these truckers are facing are starting to affect them. And J.B. Hunt is one of the largest trucking companies, and it's broken down beneath a rising trend line. Not good. Not good news. Ryder Systems is a truck rental company, and it's broken down too from a large rounded top or head and shoulders pattern. Very ominous. Very, very ominous. UPS also just has, you know, shot up there, cascaded lower. That's also ominous. It's broken support. Doesn't look good. Costco, now this is some of the exceptions. The bulk retailers like Costco, where you buy in bulk, they're doing okay. Costco has made a new high. It's now the most influential company in the Dow at $600. Compared to a $60 stock, it's 10 times more influential. So that's the way that the Dow is computed, a price weight instead of a market cap weight. And Walmart too, they have Sam's Club, and Walmart has also broken out to all-time highs. So again, bulk retailers are doing very well right now as opposed to some of the other ones. Target now looks like it's coming back a little bit. We'll have to see. It has a little bit of that bulk to it, but not entirely. So that one's kind of in the middle. And Home Depot, if you are a home building or do-it-yourself type of company, you're getting absolutely hammered. Home Depot, Lowe's, the home building sector, appliances, all getting hammered. And Berkshire Hathaway. Now this is kind of interesting. Warren Buffett bought 11% of Hewlett-Packard this week, and the stock shot up like crazy. Again, it looked like a really good purchase. Now also, on the other hand, a guy by the name of Peter Thiel, and he's an entrepreneur billionaire, that's what he's described as. He absolutely went rogue at some cryptocurrency conference and completely tried to shred, Warren Buffett, called him a sociopathic grandpa. Well, I have a feeling that Mr. Thiel is the one that's sociopathic. It sounds like a projection to me. But his beef with Warren Buffett is this, and Jamie Dimon and a couple other people. They won't get on the board. They won't get on board with the whole crypto craze. Well, hello, there are a lot of people that don't trust this because it's a scam. It doesn't, as Warren Buffett said, it doesn't do anything. Isn't that what you've heard from me? It doesn't do anything. It's a password. Who needs it? Anyway, you got to congratulate the guy. I've had my issues with him, but success speaks it all. And he's approaching just a dominant position in the stock market right now. They're approaching $1 trillion. This may be number 3 or 4, coming up pretty soon. Well, thanks for tuning in, everybody. We'll be back next week with some interesting picks. It looks like the cannabis sector is about to emerge and about to be the next group of companies that's going to go up. Also, the market looks like it's about to break down violently, so we'll stay on top of that too. And if you would like and subscribe, we'd appreciate it. We'd love the audience, and we hope you find these useful. Please share comments with us. If you've been scammed by Wells or Dave's Inc., leave us a comment, okay? Contact information is right here. You can email us at markonomics101@gmail.com, and we'll see you next week.